So the second of the four elements of putting is what I call the stroke. And by definition right now, the stroke is literally the motion of moving the putter back and forth. Now there's several elements of that, but today we want to talk about what I call the path. It is the path that the putter travels back and forth down the line. And I think it's important to understand that I think for most of us, the goal of our putting stroke is for it to be pretty good without a tremendous amount of practice. I get a chance to go out on the tour, and those guys have a lot of nuances to their stroke, but they practice an hour or two a day. You probably don't have time to do that. I certainly don't. So I want to build a stroke that's consistent, and that's why, building the path, I use our putting rail. And the idea with the putting rail is it does a couple of things. It lets me see and feel what the path of that putter is. It goes back and forth down the line. The rail itself is set on the same lie angle as my putter shaft, so the putter travels back and forth. It comes in a little and comes in a little on the follow through, but by and large it's traveling right down that line. Why is that important? Because if the putter's moving down the line, I know that's where the ball ought to travel. Now if it doesn't travel, we're going to cover that in another session where the putter face is either open or closed, but right now we're going to learn to move that putter back and forth. So that's the fundamental of it. The drill that I've done is I've set up the putter at about 5 or 6 feet from the hole. I've got the putter on the rail, and the drill I'm going to do is just simply make a stroke and keep the putter on the rail. If I do that, I know that the putter's traveling down the line. So as you're working on this particular drill, a couple things are going to happen. One, you're going to love the idea that the ball's going in every time. The second is you're going to really begin to feel that putter is moving back and forth on the rail. The nuance to this drill is hit a lot of putts with it on the rail and then close your eyes and hit some putts with it still on the rail. You can hear it if it's on the rail. And you can hear it when it drops in. That's pretty cool. So let's have some fun with this, the stroke motion, and I'm going to introduce you to what I call the doink drill. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going to set it up and you're going to make a bunch of putts on the rail. Not so. What we're actually going to do is we're going to set the ball slightly outside the rail so that the putter does not hit the rail. And the idea is if I bring the putter back too quickly into the inside, doink the rail. Don't want to do that. So the goal is this. Tour numbers from 6 feet, which is what I want you to hit, is about 65%. So if you hit 20 putts, you make 13, you're at tour level. Does that surprise you? That's our goal right here. So you have to do two things. You have to make the putt and you have to not doink the rail. If you do, you're building a stroke that's repetitive and it's free flowing. There's no crutch to it. So we simply set up, the putter's not on the rail. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. Now imagine you can do that 65% of the time. Boy, life is good. Make a lot of putts, make a lot of pars, knock in an occasional birdie. This is going to be great. Get after this drill, 65% from 6 feet, the doink drill.